Hi everyone, it's Helen here. Thank you so much for joining me for today's tutorial. So today we are going to be working on the Carousel die set. So these are going to be the step-by-step instructions on how to put this die set together. So let's quickly go through the cutting guide, and then I'm going to do some quick gluing and sticking because I have some mats and bits and bobs, and then we can jump on to the next stage. So in this die set you get 10 dies, and this is absolutely amazing because this is going to be an absolute showstopper once you have popped this together. It's going to be perfect for cupcakes. We have this little cake topper here that you can pop inside your cupcakes, and you can also team it with the teacup die as well. So I'll be giving you a quick sneak peek at the end of the video for that one. So cutting guide. So we have here for the base 4 of these. So cut 4 of those, and I'm using some hunky dory adorable scoreable card. It does have a little bit of a coating on there, so if you do work with this, use some red tape, or just have a little bit of extra patience if you are using some wet glue. And then these also come with mats as well. So I've chosen blue for my base, and I'm going to mat those with the pink. I'll probably pop the mats on there after I've popped the base together. And then we have these edges here. This is going to be for the edge of the base, so those go together. So you're going to need to be cutting 8 of those. And then for the roof, we are going to have 8 of these as well. I've chosen this beautiful pink. I will list everything down below as well. So 8 of those, and then I've got some rainbow striped mats for the roof as well. I'll pop those on, I think, before I put the roof together. So you need 8 of those, and that is using this die here. And then for the central post, you're going to need 6, or is it 8? Let's count. 1, 2. I've got 6 here, but if you want to do 8, or if you want to do 10, you can do 10 as well. Okay, I have here a cake stand that I've made. This is using 10 of those pieces, so you can make a wider base. Now this is just using ordinary hexagon dies, but the rest is used using this carousel set, and I've just reinforced it with some sticks. But I digress, there's so many different things that you can make with this die set. So let's get this base popped together, and then what I'll do is I'll pop on the mats for all of the bits and bobs that I've cut out already. So you'll get 4 of these, and you can see there's a score line. Do not fold that, leave it completely flat, okay, because you're going to be needing to glue those together. If you fold it, you are going to kind of get bending in the base, and we want the base to be flat. And if you want a super sturdy base, then you can always double up these. Okay, so these go together, so they go round in a circle. So this is going to make a hexagon. So again, I'm going to leave a little bit of time for my glue to dry, because this is a shiny surface. I just find that the hunky dory adorable scoreable is quite thick, and it's just perfect for these sorts of projects. But the only problem is it takes a while to dry if you are using wet glue. So I recommend using that red tape, and maybe a bit of hot glue as well if it's something that needs to kind of just be held together. So I have just added some glue to there. I'm going to add some glue to this one here, and then we're going to kind of tuck this one underneath. So tuck it underneath here. I'm getting my glue everywhere. I will clean that up, but this is going to have some mats popped on the top as well. Okay, so just line everything up, trying to get everything as straight as possible. There we go. The good thing is I do have a little bit of wiggle room for this. Let's get rid of all that glue. Right, so I'm just going to now grab my little mats. This adding mats is also going to help you add some thickness to this as well. And what I'll be doing is I'll be popping this on an electric turntable, so that I can just have it in the corner of the room with my little cupcakes on, just turning around. Okay, so I'm just popping on the last one, and we now have these pieces here, which is this die is not the one that's attached to this one here. So with this one, all you've got to do is just use a bone folder. That's really helpful, just to get some really nice crisp folds. Bend that over as well. Press that down. Okay, and then add your glue just to this tab. It's pretty self-explanatory, this part. And then this will go underneath here. And if you are adding another layer of the base, make another base, and then add these around the edge, and then add your extra layer base at the bottom, and that will cover all of these sections up here. But I'm pretty happy with the sturdity of this, so I'm just going to leave it as is with this one layer and the mats. So I'm going to go around now and add all the others. Okay, so I'm just adding a bit of glue there to that end tab. Then I'm just going to add it as I go along. Alternatively, you can just add these on and then do all the side tabs last. Okay, so whilst that's drying, set that aside, and now I'm just going to fold all of the score lines on these, and then I'm going to add the mats. I did forget to say this stripy paper is from the paper pack that comes or coordinates with this Fairground Attraction. It's called Celebrations and it's A4. And here is my very first A4 paper pack, because normally I go for 12 by 12, but A4 is just perfect for this project or for this collection. Okay, so they're all done, and if you need the cutting guide, it is on the back of the packaging right there, so it tells you exactly how many things of each thing you need to cut. I am now going to move over to my red tape, because this is going to be 3D as I'm assembling, a bit like the witch's hat. It's going to be 3D, so I don't really want to purely rely on this. This will take a little bit longer as it has been to dry. This was fine because it was nice and flat, but because this is 3D, I'm just going to use the red tape for this, and possibly add a little bit of glue on top as well. But this is basically just to make sure that it doesn't move about whilst I'm gluing it together, because it could be a bit of a nightmare with your project wanting to fall apart when you're trying to stick another bit on there. Oops, I snipped into that. Yep, we're all still good. Whilst I'm doing this, I also want to mention that this roof that I'm making here right now for the carousel, it also coordinates and is pretty much essential if you want to make the big top tent gift box. I'll pop a picture here. So the big top tent, the lid is actually this carousel roof that I'm making here right now, and in the big top die set you get the sides and the curtain and all the other big top accessories. So if you wanted to make the big top, you are going to need the carousel to complete that. It does say on the packaging, and it will say on the website as well. Okay, I'm just going to quickly press all of this tape right down. It's going to push the adhesive right into the fibres, or the shiny bits of this cardstock, and it also it's also going to get the air bubbles out as well. This I wanted to stick to my hand. Okay, so let's get these popped together. So let's do that. Take that off, grab the glue. I'm using bookbinding glue. It's not just for books, it's super duper. It dries quite fast, takes a little bit longer obviously on the shiny stuff, but ordinary cardstock, it it does glue and set nice and fast. So this tape that I'm using is going to give us that instant stick so that we can start maneuvering our 3D object whilst we move on to the next stage. And then the reason why I'm adding glue on top of there is basically to keep it there for much longer. I do find that the red tape, or any kind of tape that I use in my projects, it can start to peel away and come undone after a while, but the glue will make sure that that doesn't happen. Keeps it there for much longer, years longer. Okay, so I'm just closing this off now, just doing the last little piece. There we go. And now all I have to do is just add my glue now to these little tabs here, and then glue all the way around to get those all closed off. Okay, so I'm just waiting for that to dry now. Don't worry if you have a tiny little bit of a hole at the top there. With a bit of practice you can kind of shove everything together in the right place. However, I'm not going to be worried about that, because now there's room for me to pop a little cocktail stick in there so I can make a little flagpole for the top. Okay, so here is my carousel roof, and I've got my carousel bottom, my base. So all we need now is our central column. So using this die, just here, this big long one here, cut 6, or is it 8? I can't remember. Do I need to count them again? It's been a long day. Right, 6. Right, so all I've got to do now is just fold all of these little side tabs here. I'll just quickly do 2, and then I'll show you how I'm going to join these together, because there is an easy way and there is a harder way, so I want to show you the easy way. There's a little tab at the bottom there as well. Okay, so these form like a 3D shape. Let me grab that cake stand again. It forms this 3D shape here. So it's easy to attach all of these base bits first and then carefully build up your shape. So all I'm going to do is glue these 2 bits here. It will make this want to go a bit crisscrossy, okay, but these ones bend outwards. Okay, so let's do a quick run so you know what I mean. Add your glue just to these first 2 here. These are all kind of bending and going in the right direction, or the same direction. And I have tried to cut these out so that it pattern matches the best it can. It probably makes it harder for you to see, but that tab is now glued down. There we go. As you can see, that is taking a shape there for the base. Now these 2 here, these go outwards, and I'm just going to attach these after I've done the whole entire row of these bottom sections, and then I'll go ahead and go back the other way and I'll glue all of these together as well, because these kind of go that way as well, so you've got that sort of a shape. Okay, so you should now have something that looks a little bit strange like this, right? So what we're going to do now is just go ahead and glue all of these together like that. So it's best to start from the left hand side here and work your way to the right. Again, if you're using a shiny cardstock, use a bit of red tape as well as the glue. Okay, so this is taking more of the shape now that we need it to. So all we have to do now is just glue close this last little section there. So I'm just going to add glue to all 3 of these tabs. And I've got my hot glue gun already heated up for the next step. So I'm just going to do this long section first. It can be really difficult to kind of get this bit here pressed in, but just do your best. And then I'm just going to do this last section. It'd be helpful if you get these little tabs out of the way. Great if you've got extra long fingers too, but I don't, so just do your best. Bone folder might be helpful for this as well. You need to be able to press against something whilst you try and seal these tabs. Okay, so you should now have something that looks like that. You've got your tabs at the top here, so pull those outwards so they're splayed out, just like that. And then on the bottom, we want all of these folded in. Right, just a quick dry run now, just to put my lid back on my glue. I'm going to move over now to our base, and just a quick dry run. I'm going to pop this on there. That is pretty much where that is going to live. If you make a wider one of these, say like the cake stand, you will lose space for your cupcakes around here, or if you wanted to use the teacups, you need to use 6. So that was our quick dry run. So now I'm just going to add glue. All the way around. I'm going to go right up to the edges on that as well. And I'm going to stick that right in at the centre. Whoops. I'll just repair that with the hot glue. If you press down too hard, that is what is going to happen. There we go. Right, you should now have something that looks like that. I might have to lift my camera up a bit now because we are getting a little high. I might even have to change camera angles. Okay, so I've changed camera angles. Excuse the mess. I've got loads of different projects that I'm working on right now. So here is the, well, I was going to say lid, but it's not. It's the tent kind of canopy that goes over on the top like that. You need to kind of get that as straight as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some hot glue on all of these tabs here, and then I will probably kind of crouch down so that I can get this at eye level. So I'll have to be quick here. I've got all my glue bits on there. And another thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with all of the edges as well, so I don't have anything kind of skew with. And before I kind of move away, I want to make sure this is level as well. As it's a handmade item though, it might want to go a little bit wonky, that's fine. Okay, so that is the basis. It's kind of looking a bit like the magic roundabout now, isn't it? So maybe I should have used red. Oh, that's a point. Maybe, is any of the magic roundabout stuff still in stock? Because that could make a great one. If you've got the magic roundabout paper pack, that will go perfect with this. Okay, so I'm going to work now on my little horses for my little cupcakes, and it comes with obviously the horse die. This will leave some nice little score lines there, so you can pattern match up these extra bits here, which comes all in one die. So run that through once for each horse, and then you can just go ahead and add on bits like the tail, the saddle, and then we have all of these. I've kept them on here because they're tiny, all these little extra bits and bobs for the horse as well. Okay, so I'm now ready to add my little cake toppers into my little muffins. I've only got mini muffins, okay? So if you actually want to impress your guests, get them bigger cupcakes. Okay, so here we have a tiny little muffin. I would recommend definitely getting those really lovely showstopper ones with the sprinkles and the icing. And then I'm just going to pop that under there. You can add a little doily. These ones I've got here are a little bit too big for this, but you can trim them down if you kind of want to make or just to prevent any grease going through, because it'll be really nice to use this again and again. Okay, so here is our little cupcake stand. Again, don't use mini ones unless you don't want your guests to ever come back, but give them really good big size pretty cupcakes. But there is one thing that we can now do to step this up even further. Okay, so what I have here is a USB turntable. It doesn't go around too fast. I've got this plugged in. Don't use a battery pack because it doesn't draw enough power for the battery pack to recognize it, so it will work for like 30 seconds. The battery pack will think, oh, it's not, there's nothing plugged in, and then it will turn itself off. So make sure this is plugged into the mains, okay? So a USB power adapter, or into the back of your computer or laptop. So I'm just going to quickly turn this on. It doesn't spin around too fast. It's gathered a little bit of dust, that's why it's a little bit dirty or dusty. So let's carefully place this on the top. And there we have our rotating carousel cupcake stand. I absolutely love that. How good is that going to look at a party? It's going to look really, really lovely. And that is how you put the carousel together. So don't forget, this carousel will also work with the big top die set. You'll be needing the top part to make the big top tent lid, and also you can use teacups instead of these on there, and that will be in another tutorial where I'll be showing you how to do that as well. It's going to look really nice with the teacup, so it's going to be a lovely like merry-go-round or a teacup ride. So if you like this one, give me a like, a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.